Alright, this is Vegeta 8259 again, and this is part 1 of the Master Grade Musha Gundam Mark II review. And I've finally finished painting this guy, so now I can finally review him. This is actually a pretty nice Master Grade, I think. It's not perfect, it does have a few small flaws, but overall it's a pretty good release. A little bit expensive. It's 6,000 yen, which is going to run you a little bit over $60. But I think that if you really like these Musha designs, then it should be worth it, especially since we get all this gold plating. For colors, the way I painted this kit, I painted it a little bit darker than the colors that it came molded in. Not really intentionally, those are just the colors that I had on hand. But you're going to get a dark blue for mostly just the arms and the legs. And then you're going to get a really dark blue for the torso, shoulders, skirt, armor, feet. But I didn't have a blue that was that dark, so I just used black. But then again, if you want to get a better look at that dark blue, then you can just go back and watch the unboxing video for this guy. You're also going to get just a few red parts on the crotch here, the chin piece, and oh yeah, the cockpit, which is inside the mobile suit, which you'll see that in part 2. And then you get 2 big runners of gold plated parts, which are very nice and shiny. And then you get 1 small runner of purple parts, and you get several runners of kind of a bluish gray for the inner frame and the joints, and I just kind of went with a gunmetal color for the inner frame. I believe that's it. Oh, you also get 2 clear parts, 1 for the eyes and then 1 for the scope on the beam rifle. And you also get 2 silver chrome plated parts for the blades of the katanas. So let's go ahead and, oh wait, no, I was about to say let's go ahead and move on to articulation. First I'll do decals. You get a sheet of foil stickers, 2 red stickers for the horns, but I just painted those red. 2 gold stickers for the little thingies on the sides of the helmet. You get several of these round stickers for the little, I guess, Musha Mark II crest that are in all these little round things. I didn't bother using those though. Get a sticker for the eyes and a sticker for the scope on the beam rifle. You're going to get several dry transfer decals, and just like the Shin Musha Gundam, you get 2 different decal schemes. I used the Hajime Katoki decal scheme, which has got these little zigzaggedy stripe decals that you can see on the shoulders and the legs, just so my Musha Mark II would match my Shin Musha Gundam. But you also get these, which you've actually got some gold dry transfers here, big Mark II logo and some kanji there. And then you also get a large sheet of clear stickers. So I think that does it for all the colors and decals. Now we can move on to articulation. Starting at the head. Head is on a double ball joint, so it can go down and up and side to side and rotate 360. And the neck is actually kind of long, and I think that's a good thing because he's got a really nice range of motion despite having this big bulky helmet. Because Shin Musha Gundam has a big bulky helmet, and his head isn't nearly as posable as the Mark II's, so I think that longer neck is definitely, we can thank the long neck for that. The torso has got a double ball joint for the waist. It's got a ball joint kind of mid-torso, which lets him rock back and forth and side to side. And then there's another ball joint that's actually at the waist that lets him, let me move these arms out of the way. He won't rotate 360, but he can go about that far to each side. He can rotate 360 without the armor on, but then again, how many times are you going to display this guy with no armor? Alright, let's see. Let's go on to the arms. There's a joint inside the torso for the shoulders that lets them move up like so, although they move up a bit farther when you actually don't have the shoulder armor on, so they don't go up quite as far as they could. And they can also go forward and back a little bit. The arms rotate 360. The shoulder armor has a little piece right here that can go up and down. The arms themselves can go out up until they hit this piece of armor up here, and they can rotate below the shoulder. And there's this little black piece of armor right here that can go up and down. The elbows are double jointed and could get you a full 180 if there wasn't all that bulky samurai armor there, but then again, given that there is so much armor there, I think bending that far is pretty good. The hands are pretty much the standard new style master grade hands. There's a hinge at the wrist which lets it bend forward and back, with a ball joint there as well which lets it rotate and wiggle. Thumb is on a ball joint, and each individual finger is on a ball joint, but the last three are connected together. And also he's got this little mechanism on his forearm, which is just on a peg, so it can rotate kind of unnecessarily, but it's got this little spiky gold plated part which slides out like so, and I guess it's kind of like brass knuckles, and it just lines up with the knuckles on the fist, and I guess gives him a little extra kick when he, well, kick isn't really the right word, gives him a little extra oomph when he punches somebody. So yeah, spiky brass knuckle mechanism on the forearm. The skirt armor, the front skirts are actually double jointed. They've got a double joint in there that's a ball joint, actually two ball joints, kinda. Anyway, they can move very far up and side to side a little bit and can wiggle around. Side skirts are just on a peg. They can go up and down and rotate slightly. The back skirts do not move. It's just one solid piece. And before we go into the legs, let's do the backpack. The thruster slash beam saber mounts up here are on ball joints, so they've got quite a nice range of movement. Each of these thrusters down here is on a ball joint. And then the little weapon racks right here. Well, this one's on a peg, but it doesn't rotate much. But the rack for the naginata is can rotate pretty freely. Now on to the legs. Lift this skirt armor up. They are on ball joints, so you're not going to get a lot of out movement. They aren't going to go out about that far. But there is a little swinging mechanism that connects both hips together, which lets them go really far forward. I guess that helps with kneeling poses. I'll show you that better in part 2. There's rotation below the hip, which lets it go 360. The knees are double jointed, and when you bend the knees you get some nice sliding movement on the thigh armor there. And the knee armor doesn't move, it's just one solid piece. The ankles are quite nice. You've got some nice chrome pistons in there. As you can see, they can bend down quite far. They can't really go up very far because of this big bulky piece of ankle armor, which is separate from the foot. It can move on its own. And then the foot, oh, I forgot the ankle, can go side to side. Can't really rotate very far. I mean, it can a little bit, but not much because it's got those pistons in there. The foot itself has a little bit of movement. The heel can go up and down slightly. The foot can bend down like so, and it's got another joint in it which lets it bend really far forward, which again would really help with any kneeling poses or any sort of extreme action poses that you might want to pull off. So, I guess that about does it for articulation. I can't think of anything that I might have missed. Nope. But if I do, I'll let you know later. I don't think I did. So I'll go ahead and end part 1, and make sure to come back for part 2, and we're going to go over the Musha Mark II's inner frame.